Hello everybody, welcome to Homestead Where You Are. My name is Janet and today we are going to be making soup. I am taking part in the November Soup Spectacular collaboration. It's being hosted by Diane over at the Canning Nana. All throughout November, different channels are posting videos on making many different kinds of soups. So if you're interested in that, at the end of this and also in the description, I will put a link to the playlist so you can go back and look at all of those videos. Be sure you watch this video all the way to the end because I'm going to be giving you a word of the day, which you will need to put in the comments. There is a giveaway at the end of this collaboration, and the winners will be chosen from the people who posted the appropriate word for that video. So don't forget to be on the lookout for that. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, as I said, this is the November Soup Spectacular collaboration, and I will be making Carne Guisada soup. Alright, so the first thing I have to do is peel and dice some potatoes. And essentially, a carne guisada is a beef braised in, it's beef and potatoes braised in tomato sauce, a tomato type sauce. Next, I'm going to dice up some onion. And I'm going to put some minced onion in this bowl, minced garlic, sorry, in this bowl with the onion just so that I can put it all in the pan at the same time. I will be using 1 can of chopped green chilies, 1 can of crushed tomatoes, and 1 can of diced tomatoes. And I will be using some chicken broth. Typically you would use beef, but chicken is what I had already opened in my refrigerator, so that's what I'm going to use. This is a boneless beef roast, basically a chuck roast. It is still pretty much frozen, but I like it that way because it is much easier to cut, especially when you're trying to cut thin slices. Alright, so first I'm going to cut these in thin sliced pieces. Alright, so now I'm going to take these pieces and lay them on the side, and I'm going to cut them into strips. Pretty much what you would do for, say, a fajita or something like that. And I will say, after making it this time, if I make it again, which I will because it is delicious, I will definitely cut those in half. They were a little bit too long to be a soup. All right, so now that the beef is ready, we're going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the skillet. All right, now we're going to put the onions and garlic into the skillet and saute them just a little bit. And I'm just adding a little bit of salt and pepper and some diced tomatoes.
Boy, that onion stinks, babe.
Maybe you should just like put a pinch in there. You know?
Whatever.
No, I'm just saying. You're strong, right?
Now I'm adding the crushed tomatoes. And the diced green chilies. And now we're just going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes and get all the flavors incorporated. Okay, so I am now going to dump this into a crock pot, because when this is all put together, I'm going to leave it in the crock pot for a little while and let it get all the flavors melded together. And now we're going to cook the beef, and I'm really just cooking it until it's brown on the outside. It doesn't have to be done all the way through, because as I said, I'm going to put it in the crock pot. Alright, so I'm going to put some chicken broth in here. And as I said, I'm using the chicken broth instead of beef because I already had this box opened in my refrigerator. But I am going to add a little bit of beef bouillon to make up for some beef flavor. All right, now we're going to check and see if our potatoes are most of the way cooked. Again, they do not have to be completely cooked, but we want them most of the way because we're going to add those to the crock pot. All right, we're going to put those in with our tomato sauce mixture. Stir it up just a little bit. And now we're going to add our beef to the crock pot. I'm not going to drain it or anything. I want that liquid in there. Right now I'm just testing for doneness to see if it's tender. And now we're going to dump it in. And we're going to mix it all together. Now I'm just going to let this sit in the crock pot on low for a couple of hours. And there you go. Carne Guisada soup. All right, and there you have it. Let me just say, first of all, this was not the soup that I intended to make for this collaboration. The one I was going to do was going to be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more time consuming, all that fun stuff. But I lost my stepson, and I just did not have the time or the energy to put into a more difficult soup. So I opted to do one that was a little more simple to make, a little less time consuming, but still absolutely delicious. So I hope you enjoy this. Okay, so the word for my video is going to be #family. Please make sure you put it in the comments just like that, #family. And with that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you enjoy your soup. Thank you.